So here we are. I've decided to take you to one of my favorite parks because I want to speak some things that have been on my mind lately that have also been really scary. Sharing on the internet has been really daunting to me. I don't know if it's always been this way, but I think when I started, I didn't really think that hard about. Basically, I was delusional, and I didn't know what it would feel like to be misunderstood, to be judged, or to be disliked by a stranger on the internet. This might sound a little cuckoo cray cray, but I've really noticed this negative voice of judgment in my mind when I film videos these days. I'm recognizing that this is a way that my body, my brain is trying to protect myself from these moments of misunderstanding or hurt, to try and project all the worst possible things someone could say about me. But I don't want to live like that. I don't want that to be the reason I stop sharing thoughts and ideas into the world. The idea of haters gonna hate, F the haters, doesn't make me sleep better at night. But I think what does help me empathize with people who are assuming negative intent in people's videos or art that they share is seeing triggers as a gift. And I know saying this is probably gonna trigger some people, but it's really been very helpful to me, especially since I've been living at home the past month with my mom, and triggers probably come up for the most when I'm with family members, with significant others, and I guess through the internet as well. But the thing that really helps me is reminding myself that every time I feel triggered, I'm choosing to see them as an opportunity for me to heal an old wound that hasn't yet been tended to. It's an insecurity that needs more love, that needs more affirming, and I wouldn't have necessarily paid attention to it if someone didn't pass some salt by this old wound. And I think now that this is so obvious to me, I can also give myself more compassion when someone in the comments is feeling triggered by something I say. It's not my responsibility to not trigger anyone, just as it's no one else's responsibility to never trigger me. Being able to view it in that way is allowing me to release the self-doubt, the fear, and the uncertainty I have around posting videos and sharing my life. What do we have next? Next, I would like to share with you a quote that my friend randomly made up on the spot when I asked him for advice on self-doubt. And I think he is a beautiful example of why I want to keep creating and sharing on the internet, because this is someone who was a viewer, reached out so enthusiastically to me whilst I was in Vancouver, and now him and his girlfriend are like two of my favorite humans, and I'm so blessed to have them in my life. So without further ado, here's his quote. Recognizing self-doubt is self-awareness. Realizing self-doubt is self-harm. He pointed out that having self-doubt is very normal. It's natural. It's perhaps even healthy because it lets you see your blind spots. It lets you see the inherent risks of the action that you are about to take. However, realizing them, as in bringing them into reality, manifesting them, if you will, is harmful to yourself. Realizing that sharing my thoughts on the internet might offend some people. However, letting that affect what I actually do would be stopping myself from having these amazing friendships that creating videos has brought to me. Being able to share these thoughts, these ideas, and hearing what other people in the world have felt about them, I think for me is a form of self-healing. To deny myself of that is just so unfair to myself and to other people who've explicitly said that they really enjoy hearing what I or other people have to say. Recognizing self-doubt is self-awareness. Realizing self-doubt is self-harm. Johnny G. circa 2024. Thanks, Johnny. Before we go on, I'd like to do the sponsored segment of this video and preface that the sponsor, BetterHelp, has created a webpage addressing all of our questions. So if you'd like to check it out, it will be linked below. They have been a huge part in my personal healing journey, especially when I graduated from university and all of the therapist options recommended to me were over $200 a session as someone who had no insurance coverage. Yeah, it just wasn't happening. The aim of this online platform is to connect people with affordable therapy options. The quiz that they gave me allowed me to find a specifically female, BIPOC, and LGBTQ plus friendly therapist who helped me navigate a really racially charged situation at that time. So I'm very much forever grateful for her. BetterHelp has over 30,000 different licensed therapists, and it is also completely free to switch between them. If you'd like to check it out, you can get 10% off your first month using the link right here. Someone left a message on the community tab just talking about how they feel like they grew up very sheltered and adulting is so hard to them, doing things alone, doing things for the first time. And they said they're in their early 20s, and as someone who is about to turn 27, I guess enter late 20s, I still feel that. Even if you see my channel and you're like, oh, she travels a lot, like she's so adventurous, I still get very nervous before I have to go somewhere new. And recently, my beautiful friend and her partner invited me to their wedding on Maui, and I've never had to rent a car before. I've never had to figure out certain things in this realm. How can I be a respectful visitor? How can I overcome my fear of renting a car? I'm also going to be doing a pretty big move of sorts in literally a week, and I'm very nervous about that, but I'm just trying to stay calm. And I like to think of this diagram that I saw somewhere on the internet. I drew my own version of it. And it's a very good reminder that sitting in our fear, not doing anything, just makes the fear stronger. But if we can make any step forward, what's one little thing that you can do to move forward in this situation? And I guarantee you the fear will lessen. Another integral part of releasing self-doubt for me, don't forget to dream. What is it that you want to see in the world? What do you wish existed? Helping yourself is a huge part in helping other people. I was talking about this to my friend Linda on the phone the other day, who is the therapist that I ran the art therapy workshop with, and she was saying how so many of these psychology therapy practices are actually taken from Black and Indigenous cultures, such as the Maslow's hierarchy of need. In the Maslow hierarchy of needs that we know now, because we are more like an individualistic based Western society, the peak is self-actualization. However, in the original Indigenous example, self-actualization actually has to happen earlier in order for us to truly serve in our communities. We have to honor our own needs and our own journey in order to be of service for the greater good, for other people. By healing ourselves, we are also healing the people around us, giving other people permission to do the same in their own lives. For me, what does continuing to dream look like? Yes, I acknowledge that we're in a time that is very heated. There's a lot of division. There's a lot of grief, a lot of pain. But I will keep on believing and trying to build spaces where we can feel safe, where we can feel heard, where our voices are honored. And I think we need something like that online. We need an online safe space. Did not expect to get a little emotional there, but that's something that I really want to create with Friendly Bureau. I want it to be a place where people can come together to learn, to grow, and to fall more in love with themselves and be able to love the people around them. Okay? That is the goal. How are we gonna get there? We don't fully know yet.
A 1, a 2, a 1, 2, 3, 4. La 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 la.
Another
La, la,
sweet
la,
girly
la, la.
commented, should I live at home with my parents or should I move out and hopefully, have an easier time finding a partner? Feeling really unsure about what they should do next. I don't have the answer for you because I don't know how to answer that question for myself. I don't even know if I want to move out into my own place right now. I'm living at home. My grandma's getting older. My little nephew is growing up. I want to be here to cherish the time that I have with them. Living at home for a large part of the year, spending time with my family, and taking trips here and there is a good balance for me right now. Do I question and doubt it every week before my period? Yes, we're working on balancing the hormones, but I resonate with the confusion. Who will be my life partner / do they even exist? Like, this is the first time in my life where if I'm to date again, it will be very intentional. It will no longer be like oh, I just want to have fun. I want to see where it goes. That Leah is somewhere out in the bushes. Like, we can't find her. We don't know where she is. Because at this point, I'm like, if I'm to invest my time, my emotional labor into cultivating this really healthy, amazing relationship that I want to have with a life partner, I feel that I would really have to be firm with my expectations and my wants. If I'm to date again, which I will, I'm just saying if, because I think I'm genuinely very scared. I'm very scared in that I don't know if this person exists. Like, when I journal down my honest desires for this life partner, there's so many hopes. The bar, she's high, she's like not even in frame. And I'm just like, will anyone ever meet that? Like, does this person exist? I truly do not know, but I would like to dream and I would like to hope that they do. I'd rather keep my hope and die alone than be super pessimistic, have no hope and die alone. I know I probably won't die alone, but I'm also just like, okay if I do. And to people who have asked me, like, do you ever see yourself having children? I used to really not be into babies at all. But oh my goodness, since my cousin has had Timothy, my world has flipped upside down. I'm like out here fighting to hold him. And I so enjoy this toddler era that he is in where we can talk and communicate to each other. I introduced him to tree climbing the other day. I mean, like, he can't fully climb a tree, but I was just like helping him. I brought him to this park, threw mud into the water together, climbed on rocks. It's so fun showing a little human all the things that I love and also learning to be more gentle and compassionate to the big emotions of others. I think it helps me be more compassionate to myself too. I noticed yesterday I was taking care of him and oh my goodness, that boy has so much energy. Like, I'm not kidding. 3 hours with him and I need a 3-hour nap. So that's to say I don't feel ready at this moment of my life to have a child, but if I met the right person, I would totally be extremely open to it. Let's just say it like that. But yeah, we were out, we were playing all day, and I noticed that when we were walking home, he kind of didn't want to go, and he started saying that he wanted to go home, he missed his mom and dad, and I was just like, oh man, like, this little guy is probably so tired right now and like is having a hard time emotionally regulate. So I just like knelt down and I was like, hey, do you want a hug? And he was like, yeah. I was like, do you want me to carry you or piggyback you back to the car? And he was like, yes, I do. So I just carried him back and I was like, wow, I should really treat myself more like this when I'm hungry, tired, feeling like I'm going to burst into tears, questioning everything. I really ought to look at what is it that I need right now? How can I give myself that hug? Do I need a nap? Do I need a snack? Do I need to phone a friend? Do I need a hug? Learning about gentle parenting and deploying that on my nephew has been really eye-opening in the ways that I can treat myself better. And I think a huge motivator for my healing journey, whether that's being kinder to my body, to my emotions, to regulating my period is in the chance that I want to become a parent, I will feel a lot more emotionally, physically, financially equipped to be able to do that. I'm turning 27 on May 29th in a few weeks, and I'm telling myself the goal for the next 3 years is really to just prioritize my health, work through some of my own scarcity trauma, learn to be more compassionate with myself, regulate my period, my sleep cycle, like all of these things that I think are just trying to put myself first rather than the perceived success or how happy I make other people. I think this brings us to the end of this video. If you've watched this far, thank you. I hope you leave some of your thoughts below so that I can enjoy reading them. If there's any self-doubts that you would like to release them here into the wild. And if you have any suggestions for Friendly Bureau, let me know. I'll see you in the next video. I'll be packing up all my stuff and moving to the other side of the world, so